Happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome to Bible by the Fire in DAYZ, where we study the Bible by a fire in DAYZ. And as I say every week, this channel is out of control. Yes, we do survival games, zombie killing, apocalypse games during the week, but on Sunday, we do a Bible study. We honor God, we think about some good things, better ourselves, grow closer to Jesus. I want to read Matthew 12:35, a passage very important to me, but first I want to tell you a story. But this scripture, I'll tell you, it's so simple, yet it's revolutionized my life, and I think it can help you out as well. But raising kids, you teach them young. Don't smoke cigarettes, don't do drugs, don't drink alcohol. From the time they're able to walk, I was teaching my girls these things. They're just little toddlers, my oldest too. I don't know how old they were, just walking and talking, just learning and exploring life. But I put these thoughts in them young. Hey, don't smoke cigarettes. And I'd teach them the response. And I'd say, hey kids, you want to smoke cigarettes? And they'd say, no way, man, no way. And I'd say, why not? And I conditioned this response. And they'd say, because they turn your lungs black and you die. And now I know it's overreaction, and I'm not picking on anybody who smokes, but we can all agree you want to teach children not to smoke. And so as their father, I taught them, don't smoke cigarettes. Why not? And then they would know, well, cigarettes, they turn your lungs black and you die. Don't drink alcohol. Say, why not? Hey kids, hey, you want to drink alcohol? Role playing like cool kids at school, we're all drinking, you want to drink? No way, man, my kids would say. I say, why not? The conditioned response I taught them was, it makes your belly fat and your brain dumb. And they'd yell, it makes your belly fat and your brain dumb. It's just like, I got to teach them somehow. They took these things very seriously. You want to do drugs? We're all doing drugs. And they'd say, no way, no. And they'd yell at me, why not? Everyone's doing it. It's cool. And the conditioned response that I taught them is, it ruins your brain. And we can all agree, those things, you want to teach children those things. And I conditioned those responses to them until one day it sort of backfired a little bit. I was going to the grocery store with my second youngest child, and she was really little. I don't remember how old she was, just waddling along, that age where you have to walk super slow because they want to walk everywhere, but they're so incredibly slow. And we got to the front doors of the grocery store, and the electric doors open, and the blowers were blowing, to keep the bugs out and the hot air out. It's really loud, and she just stopped, and she wouldn't take another step. I said, come on in, what are you doing? And she just pointed at the ground and gasped. Covered her mouth, pointing at the ground, pointing at something frantically. I said, come on in, what are you doing? And she just shook her head. I'm not taking another step. Is the look she gave me. I'm not taking another step. And I said, what is going on? And I got down on her level, eye to eye. I said, what is going on? What are you so afraid of? And she was pointing frantically, and I looked, and she goes, cigarette, cigarette, cigarette. And I looked, and I saw there's a cigarette butt on the ground. I said, yeah, so? And then she looks at me with eyes wide as saucers, and she says, where's the dead person? She thought I conditioned her so well that she thought if you smoke a cigarette, you fall over dead right then and there. And so she thought there'd be a corpse laying in the bushes somewhere by the door. And I had to explain, well, you don't die right away. Oh my goodness. But the thought hit me. What if you did see the end result of your decisions? Like, what if you could jump ahead and see this decision to say this, to do this, to engage in this, to go there, and then I immediately skip to the consequence of that, for good or for bad? What would I choose? What words would I say? Where would I go? What would I read? What would I watch? What would I do? Like, all of those things, if we could skip ahead and see the end result from this moment, from the beginning, we would choose quite a bit differently. And all these decisions do certainly add up. And I love the simplicity of Jesus in Matthew 12:35. He says this, and it really changed me, and I'll tell you why. Jesus said, a good man brings forth good from the good he has stored up within him. That is so simple. How are you a good man? It's not really by trying harder. It's not really making resolutions and commitments. It's simply by storing up good things in your heart, in your mind, in your soul. Just storing up good things. It's what I'm reading, good. Is what I'm watching, good and wholesome. The things that I'm listening to, building me up and feeding my soul, because this world is full of garbage that just degrades the human soul, that just rots our mind. And then we wonder why we have such anger and such lust and such impatience, and we're so insulting, and we wonder why garbage leaks out of us is because garbage is stored up within us. My great-grandmother, I got to grow up with my Gigi. She was super old the day I was born, and she was super old my whole life. Like, she looked the same for like the 20 years that I lived with her, in town with her. She's from the Bronx. Tough gal. Loved the Lord, but she'd say, garbage in, garbage out, Matthew. Garbage in, garbage out. That's a dead-on impression of my great-grandma. Garbage in, garbage out. So true. She also ate a crap ton of salt. Like salt on everything. Gigi, you shouldn't eat so much salt. My parents say, Grandma, you shouldn't eat so much salt. Grandma, it's too much salt. Just piling the salt on there, and she'd say, you know, all my life people telling me I'm eating too much salt. It's too much salt. And you know where all those people are? I say, no, Grandma, where are all those people? You know, little kid, she goes, all those people are dead. I'm still eating my salt. She was so great. Oh, she was so great. But garbage in, garbage out. Jesus said a good man brings forth good from the good he has stored up. An evil man brings forth evil from the evil he has stored up. I want to be a good man. I want to be a good husband. I want to be a good father. I want to be a good friend. I want to be a good son. I want to be a good YouTube influence. I'm not an influencer. That's a joke. That's a joke. I'm a 43-year-old man playing a stupid underground video game that has a cult following. I mean, like, I'm not an influencer, but I am an influence, and I want it to be good. How does that happen? It happens by storing up the good. It doesn't happen by accident, and it's not some crazy life hack. It's not making a commitment or a resolution or deciding I'm going to change. It's I'm going to put good things in my mind. I'm going to wake up, I'm going to read my Bible, I'm going to pray. I'm not going to watch garbage. There's shows that a lot of folks, even Christian folks, watch. Hey, you watch that? I don't watch that. I haven't watched it. And I don't want to be like judgy, so I don't always tell them why, but I'm like, that show is garbage, man. You know, I like Walking Dead. I like, you know, some of these shows, but there is a line, and if it's this influence that's dragging me down, if there's like just nudity and vulgarity and it's just all over the place, I don't want to put that in my mind, because I'm storing up garbage, and that's what's going to come out of my life is garbage. I want to store up the good. I can read good books. I can read good poems that uplift. It sounds, as much as I like to pride myself on being a manly man, I kind of cry a lot. Like, just let tears come out of my eyes when I'm watching or listening to a testimony or hear someone say something heartwarming and touching, and YouTube and testimonies and sermons and good music and worship music and wholesome music and things that are just good. I store it up. Most of all, the presence of God. I just need to sit in the presence of God and in the quiet and in the stillness and just soak in His presence and let it just soak into me like a sponge. And then when something in life touches me, what spills out of that sponge of my heart and my soul is goodness, the goodness of God. And it's not an accident. And there are no shortcuts. There's no one-moment commitment. It's just day in and day out. I'm going to store up the good, and I'm going to shove out the bad. Say, no, I'm not watching that. No, I'm not listening to that. No, I'm not giving into that influence. No, evil out, bad out, garbage out, good in. Day after day, people ask me, how are you so positive? Why are you so hopeful? Why? I don't even try to be. I'm not trying to be. It's just a matter of what I put in my heart, my soul, my mind, and that's what comes out. And I'm certainly not perfect. Don't get me wrong, not perfect. But overall, overarching theme of my life is the goodness of God. Through the ups and the downs, through tragedy and triumph, through deaths and births, through it all, the goodness of God, the smile on my face, the joy in my heart, the peace in my soul, because of the goodness of God. A good man brings forth good from the good he has stored up within him. Store up the good today, tomorrow, and the next day, and keep carrying the fire.